The process is you get educated on it and you start with something. It might be a picture, it might be a eulogy, it might be a newspaper clip. And from there, you could regroup and add to the content over time and get it to be richer and more representative of that victim that was actually lost. So I think that's an important point, that this is not something that's done in one iteration, but it keeps growing over time.
When I heard about it, I almost sighed and said, oh, not again. Do I have to go back and see it again and feel the pain again? But I have to realize that although my pain is no different than any other mother losing her child, my son died as a part of history. That day will be part of American history forever. And it was important to me that Matthew be recognized. And that meant going back and redoing something that was painful. I'm very glad I did.
I don't think closure applies to us. It just doesn't. But each day you just learn to live with it, and you get up in the morning, you try to make your life count, do some good things in your life, and try to do things that remember them, that they'll be remembered.
I was very anxious driving up. What is this going to be? This is going to be painful. Can I handle this? When I left this office, I had such an overwhelming sense of gratitude to what Voices of 9/11 was doing. I had no understanding until I went through it. And a sense of peace. It was very therapeutic for me that day.
This is because you don't have a family portrait up, and this would be a nice family photo.
Yeah, because
some families come with one photograph, some come with well-documented albums of their family members with photographs and newspaper articles and personal items. And then some people literally back up their car and they have boxes of items that they've collected that they really haven't had the strength to go through. So our social workers sit down with those family members and help them organize and sort through.
Families are encouraged to post photos, mass cards, anything that captures a personality. Sometimes that includes descriptions of dreams family members have had.
So in this dream, he didn't say a word. Came over to me in his tuxedo, gave me a really big hug. And I said, Paul, where have you been?
I know.
Where have you been? We've been waiting for you. And this was probably like after 5 years. We've been waiting for you for 5 years. Where have you been? And he said, I was in Los Angeles. When I told my mom the story of this dream, she said, oh, he's with the angels. Because
you
in
see?
Spanish, Los Angeles is the angels. So I was like, oh my God. So I guess he was trying to tell me something.
Usually it's late. Usually it's, after everything is quieted down, I never go on during the day, but it's usually after, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, something like that. I go on, then it's peaceful and quiet, and I'm able to just kind of reflect.
When night falls outside their Long Island City home, Maureen and Al Santora log into their son Christopher's living memorial pages. He was a probie, a rookie firefighter with Engine Company 54.
Seeing pictures of Christopher is always very emotional for me. I'm kind of pleased with the representation of him on the site, and the project itself, I think, is just right on target, brilliant, and what new generations need to see about the victims of September 11th.
On 9/11, Christopher's dad, Al, a former New York City fire chief, found his way to Ground Zero late in the day.
Because I even felt for a long time that I should have been the one that should have been there, because I had the experience and not him. He didn't have the faintest clue. I mean, he was the new kid on the block, so to speak. And but you don't dictate what happens. And he happened to, he kept saying that he hadn't gotten a big job yet. He hadn't gone to any big fires. And I would say to him, don't worry, it'll come, it'll happen. And little did he know, little did I know, that he would be part of the biggest fire situation that has ever occurred.
And the living memorial allows total flexibility in terms of what a family and good friends would like remembered about their loved one. Voices of September 11th helps with every single aspect of it. They guide the family through, they do the scanning, they do the production of this.
I've finally gotten to the point in my grieving process where I'm starting to think about memorializing my wife somehow. And one of those things is that, that we're all connected as human beings. And I really see this as an opportunity for people to get connected to my wife as a human being and not just as a victim of the attacks that day.
Beyond the immediate needs of the families is our need as a society to know what happened and to listen to stories from people who lost loved ones gives you a whole other level of history which you do not get otherwise. And to hear it the way they want to tell their stories, not filtered through a journalist or scholar or other person, gives you a whole other window into the importance of this tragedy.
It shows he was a person. He was just a person. He wasn't a saint. And I think for the 3,000 that's the glory of this. That's what should hit people in the world. And that's why they shouldn't die in vain, because this can happen to anyone. These were ordinary people. These were just ordinary people. And that's what I want to come through on the Living Memorial. That he was a good man, and goodness should not be extraordinary. It should be something we each expect of ourselves. And it's for my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren. I want them to be able to hold him in their head and build a place for him in their hearts. And this is the only way it's going to happen. And I need to bear witness for my husband. And that's why I did it.